So we now come to one of my favorite parts of advertising in Google Ads, and that's creating text ads. Now, before we used to have expanded text ads and we had standard text ads as well. And those gave you up to expanded text ads gave you up to three headlines. And the previous one you had like one or two headlines. So the new format, the responsive search ads are really great, and you will see that in a minute because they allow you to really put a lot more information, and it allows the system to rotate your headlines, descriptions, and help you target people at those very precise moments when they're actually searching. So we'll create a responsive search ad and we click that, and there we have the different features to setting up a responsive search ad. Now, when we've done that, you'll notice one of the things that has come up is the list of keywords I added. They're in broad match, but that's fine. And they're in there. One of the first things you will need to do is add your domain name, actually the final URL where you want people to go to as you promote your products or services. And you need to really think carefully about that one. Usually, you should add a full URL landing page where the actual product or service you're promoting is in that section. So don't get people confused by just sending them to a generic page. Send them to the most important page. It can be a home page, which is fine. Sometimes I promote my home page, like here, but it should have all the necessary information in there to get people to complete the actions that you want. And then as you completing those headlines, you will see that when we come down to the headline and so forth, you will see this continue to improve your ad strength. At the moment, we haven't added anything, so it's incomplete, but it can either be poor, average, good, excellent, and so forth. So, what we want to do is get it to good or excellent or something like that to make sure you are using as much space as possible. And as you add the different features of your responsive search ads, it will tick off this section: add headlines, include popular keywords, make headlines unique, make descriptions unique, and so forth. So it suggests, start by adding at least five headlines. One of the things to do, as you can see here, is it says include popular keywords. The reason why you need to include your keyword in the headline is because when people are searching and they see their keyword in your ad, they're more likely to click through, they're more likely to come to your site, purchase, or contact you, and so forth. So in this case, we could say we want to promote ourselves as Google Ad Specialist, probably put that in headline one. And there we have it. We've got it. And it also shows you right there that this keyword is actually it's AdWords, but it's generally the same thing because the name changed. So it takes it off there and shows you that one is really included in there. You may not need to all. This one is not relevant because about becoming a Google Ad specialist. So what we want to do is target people who are actually looking for a Google Ad specialist, and then we put it in there. Sometimes when you put your URL or domain, it's gonna give you suggestions down here for some ads to add. So, for example, with mine, I think it did show my name, but you can add anything in there that relates to benefits and features regarding your service. Try to list the things that people are really interested in, people want to know about, pricing, discounts, anything that's relevant to them. So I could say free account review, for example. Then we could say book now online, just different headlines. And as you add in them, it sort of updates the preview. You can see the preview there. This preview is for mobile phones, smartphones, and this one is for desktop, just to give you an idea what it will look like in there. So, and just keep adding them. You've got up to 15 headlines. That's a lot of space to promote your products and your services. So try and use as much as possible because that gives the system a lot more information, and then it updates it at auction time and makes it a lot easier for you. Now, as you can see, our ad strength has gone from incomplete to poor because it's sort of increased, but it's at poor because we haven't included a lot of things in there. We still need to include a lot of headlines and descriptions, and then we could, i- after including our headlines, we can include a description. Find out how Google Ads specialist can help your business. So that's just one. So we can add that. That one is required, and the second one is required. And as you can see with the descriptions, you get up to 90 character spaces. So you can use up to all that space, which is good. With the headlines, you get up to 30 characters each. Not a lot, but really good to really put across some really punchy, features and benefits. And it's not necessary to use up all the space because remember on mobile it does get cut off sometimes, which is different from desktop. So sometimes you should put some short ones, some long ones, and various like that, and then just test them out and see what happens when you run your ads. Then another headline: helping clients in all industries set up effective ads. That's another required description. Again, try and use up as much space as you can, and then you can add more, which these are optional. So you can add some more and use as much space as you can. So this is just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And as you continue updating it, all this is going to update. And another thing you may want to include as well is the path, the display path. Now, the purpose of the display path is just to, it's almost like display URL. Before we used to call it display URL. It's not saying that's what it is exactly. So, for example, we can go with our main keyword and say Google Ads specialist, something like that. However, you want to phrase it. And as you can see, it updates it. And when people look at that URL, they think, oh, this is really relevant and is really key and will help me, whatever I'm looking for. So yeah, this is important as you're setting it up and just checking what's going on and just continue adding your headlines. As you can see, you can just keep adding there. You've got up to 15. That's a lot of space. With this new format, responsive search ad, you don't really need to have between 2 to 5 headlines, two to five ads in each ad group. You can have one very well written responsive search ad, and that will allow the system a lot of characters, text and characters to actually promote your products and services. And one is fine, two is okay, but three not really necessary. You don't really need three. And so when you're done with that and you're happy with it, one of the things you would then do is just click done. And there you've got your ad, you've got your keywords when they're all ready. And then you just click next to go to the next stage.